Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Kellen here with Droid Life. So we've got in front of us the new Nexus phones. Nexus 6P here on the left, Nexus 5X here on the right. If you're watching this, then yes, we are closing in on reviewing both phones, and you should stay tuned for those shortly. We don't do 48-hour reviews, so we're doing unboxing. We'll give you all sorts of other stuff to get you prepared for our reviews in case you were still on the edge here on whether or not you wanted to order them. But to kick it off, as usual, we're going to do an unboxing. And so this is kind of a double unboxing since we do have both in front of us and figure you're probably considering one or two. So let's do this first. We're going to go with the high-end guy first, which is the Nexus 6P. So I haven't touched these since Google's event. I don't even know what colors these are. I don't know anything. These are review units from Google, by the way. So we're just going to kind of do this, and it's going to be a mystery to everyone watching. So here's packaging, giant P there, and that is the wallpapers we're starting to see with Android Marshmallow. If we go on the back, you can see the device. Oh, and it looks like I did get the dark version. So the dark sort of black charcoalish, which is a really, really clean looking device, by the way. And it does say Huawei right there. So again, made by Huawei. So I'm just going to start peeling this away. I believe this is how we're opening. And yep, that looks to be the case. It is stuck on there, so don't get mad at me for not just sliding it straight off. So there's that. Another P right there in the middle. Slowly shimmying here, and another P, and sort of like a splash screen, if you will. So we'll pull that away. Oh, and it tells you what's in the box. So phone, sort of a tour of where everything is, like where your NFC is, the cords you're getting, charging, SIM tray, all that stuff right there. So we do have that as well. And here is the phone. So charger, which is USB Type-C. So here is... And I actually am going to undo all of these cables and stuff because we've got a new sort of charging experience, right? We've got USB Type-C. So here is your USB Type-C cable. So this is actually USB-C to USB-C, and this does plug into the charger. So USB Type-C here, and this is USB Type-C as well. So let's see if we can get a better look at that here. Maybe not. There we go. So USB Type-C tip right there. So that will charge the device. All right, set that aside as well. I'm guessing this is a SIM tool. Nope, no SIM tool. Maybe it's under the device. So let's pull the device out now. Set that aside. If you do order these early, they're giving away 90 days free of Google Play Music. This could be SIM. There we go. There's a SIM tool there. And it looks like some little guides. And then here is another cable, and this is to hook up to your computer. So it's regular USB type A, and then this is USB type C. So this would go into the device, and this would go into computer. So you can sync it, debug, whatever you want to do, just connect it to a computer. So again, you have charger here, and this is USB type C to type C. It goes into an adapter for fast charging, and then this is your cable to hook up to a computer. All right, so I believe that's it for in the box. So we'll pack that up, push aside. Here is the phone. So Nexus logo there, and sort of a bluish color. I'm not sure why. And here it is. So the Nexus 6P obviously is the more premium of the two new Nexus phones. You guys know that. We'll power it up. So new Google logo already, new font and everything. So we're firing this up. Let's talk specs, right? So we have a 5.7-inch Quad HD display on the front, and it is AMOLED, a Samsung AMOLED panel. That's 518 pixels per inch. So it should be a really great panel. Corning Gorilla Glass 4 on the front. And it should be fingerprint and smudge resistant, but I think every phone says that and none of them are, so we'll take that for what it's worth. It does weigh 178 grams, although for an all-metal phone feels quite light, if I'm being honest. On the back here, we have that 12.3 megapixel camera with the 1.55 micron pixels. So bigger pixels should capture more light, and hopefully they do, because we do not have optical image stabilization here. Google's really hyped about these though, and basically this camera was meant initially for point and shoot cameras, and it's now in a smartphone, hence the slight hump there, which isn't too bad. And so, you know, we'll put it to the test and see. Obviously there's a flash there as well. f2.0 aperture, On the front, you do have over here an 8 megapixel front camera. So they kind of went crazy with the front camera, high resolution there, 1.4 micron pixels in there, f2.4 aperture. It is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor on the inside. That's the octa-core version that has been plagued with overheating drama. So we'll see how Google manages that as an Adreno 430 GPU. 3 gig of RAM, which is LPDDR4 on the inside. Comes in either 32, 64, or 128 gigabyte options on Google Play. I don't know what this one is, actually, to tell you the truth. So we'll find that out in a second. It does have dual front-facing stereo speakers. So you can see those there, top and bottom there. We do love the front-facing speakers. It does LTE, of course, and it should work on basically any carrier in the US. So we're talking AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, and yes, Verizon. It should just work. You do have a fingerprint sensor there as well. And for the most part, I believe that's it. Oh, battery. Sorry, battery is 3450 milliamp hour battery. So substantial battery, not the biggest on the market, but it is. And then we do have that USB Type-C port down here on the bottom. If we take just a quick tour, again, here is the display now that it's lit up, and we'll get a little bit closer here. So you do have speaker and 8 megapixel camera, speaker. On this left side over here, you don't have anything other than the SIM tray, which is right here. On this right side, you do have your power button and volume rocker. Up top with this phone is actually where the headphone jack is. So the other phone, the Nexus 5X, does have that on the bottom. This one is up top. And then if we go back down here, there's your USB Type-C. And then on the back, again, I've been trying to give you looks at this. It's really a pretty phone, this dark charcoal. Do have your camera and NFC sensor up here, fingerprint sensor there in the middle, Nexus, and it does say Huawei down here at the bottom. So this is your Nexus 6P. We're not going to get into a software tour at this time because we're just unboxing, but we'll have plenty more for you to see very, very soon. So I'm actually going to set this aside and we're going to jump into the other guy. So here is the Nexus 5X. So this is the more affordable. Oh, I guess I should say the Nexus 6P does start at $499 for the 32 gig model and then goes up from there. So pricing wise. So here's the 5X, which is basically what Google's saying is sort of the rebirth of the all-around favorite, I think they're calling it. So everyone loved the original Nexus 5 from LG, and so they're bringing it back here. It looks like this will be the white one. This actually is a sleeve that I can just slide off. That's nice. Thank you, LG. And that off as well. So similar sort of splash card up front, which also gives you a look here at what's going on. So in this box, you get, again, USB Type-C charger. So we'll pull this out. So this is a Type-C to Type-C charger, just like we saw with the 6P. So Type-C end in here, other Type-C end in phone, and that charges it. And this also has fast charging. Now, unfortunately, let me pull the phone out here. Same 90-day deal on Play Music. This does not come with this cable. So this cable that was with the 6P, which is the USB Type A to Type C for plugging into computer, the 5X doesn't come with one of these. So if you want to plug this phone into a computer, you're going to have to fork out and buy another cable. Otherwise, in here we do have a SIM tray tool. I was calling that an adapter before. In the 6P, that was a tool. So same tool to get the SIM open. Anyways, so you don't have that Type C to Type A cable for hooking it up to a computer, which is a little bit unfortunate. So you are going to have to fork out for one of those. Here is the phone though. So we'll fire it up and run through specs. So again, new Google logo. And yep, this is the white version. Peel the IMEI off there. Okay, so spec rundown. 5.2 inch full HD LCD panel up front. So not the big guy, somewhere right around the middle, that sweet spot, hopefully. It does have Gorilla Glass 3, so not 4. It's also supposed to be fingerprint smudge resistant, but who knows if it is. 136 grams, and this is a plastic phone, so that's pretty light. And I mean, it definitely feels light in hand, which again isn't surprising because it's not metal, it's plastic. So same 12.3 megapixel camera that's in the 6P. The only difference there, I forgot to mention 6P records in 4K, and this one does as well. But the 6P actually does slow motion video, I believe, at 240 frames per second. This only does 120 frames per second. Or it's either that or boost mode. I guess I should confirm that right now that you're here. Let me flip open spec sheet. Well, I don't actually have that confirmation. No, they both do 30 frames per second. 6P. Oh yeah, so the 6P does do 240 frames per second slow motion. Apologize for that. And this only does 120 second. That also has a special burst mode, which this one does not have. So 5 megapixel front camera over here. So not the 8 megapixel that we see over there in the 6P. It also only has a single front speaker. So this would be your speaker up here for taking calls. This speaker down here on the bottom is actually your external output. So you don't have the stereo experience. You really just have one speaker down here on the bottom. For storage options, you have 16 or 32 gig. A Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 processor on the inside. So that's the same that's in the Moto X Pure Edition, which is an Adreno 418 GPU. You have 2 gig of RAM, LPDDR3, obviously LTE, and like the 6P, this works on every single carrier, basically in the US. So you can take it, again, to Verizon if you want. As far as battery goes, still flipping through my spec sheet here. I want to make sure we get everything. 2700 milliamp hour battery on the inside, non-removable, just like the other phone. You do have that fingerprint sensor here on the back. USB Type-C, which I mentioned before, and the headphone jack here down at the bottom. That's pretty much it. So if we just kind of look at the outside here, again, it's that 5.2 inch 1080p LCD. So not Quad HD, it's 1080p, which hopefully means good things for battery life. If we take a tour sort of the outside, same thing, you got a SIM tray over here. On the right side is your power and volume buttons. On the bottom is your Type-C port and headphone jack. Up top there is actually nothing. And then of course on back, laser autofocus, which I think I forgot to mention in the other phone, but it does also have it. Your flash, your camera, your fingerprint sensor, Nexus, and then there's LG since they made this phone. This is the two-tone white and black version. It also comes in all black or also sort of a mint blue. And the price starts at, I believe, $379. Yeah, $379 for the 16 gig. If you want to jump up to 32, it's another $50. So here is the other phone. So the 6P also comes in white and silver. So there's actually 3 color options. And if you're in Japan, I believe you can also buy gold, although that's an exclusive there. So here they are in hand next to each other though. So you can see the size difference. Again, the 6P really does feel like the premium phone of the two. And it is. It's the higher price. It's metal. It's a pretty striking looking phone, and it feels really, really nice in hand. The 5X is the smaller version, and it's made of plastic, and it's less expensive. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it feels worse in hand. It just feels completely different. So that's pretty much it. This has been, I know, a really long unboxing because we have both phones in hand, but we got much more coming. Software looks, camera looks, comparisons, all that stuff before we get into the full review. So for now, this has just been an unboxing of the Nexus 6P and Nexus 5X. We're Droid Life. Peace.